Hey guys, so welcome back to another mini episode in our mini series on how to market your home staging business. So today is day 3 and we talk about email marketing. If you haven't checked it out yet, you can check out day 1 and day 2 on our blog. Just go to stagemore.com/blog or just download our podcast as usual from iTunes. All right, without further ado, let's talk about email marketing. So today we're going to talk about email marketing, which is very exciting. Email marketing is probably one of I would say my favorite because I think emails is kind of magical. But at the same time, emails can be also very dangerous because it can also become kind of a crutch. Because when you're relying purely on email marketing, you're not going to be able to generate a lot of leads actually. Because email marketing is great, but the issue is probably also one of the easiest to reject as well. This is why I think nowadays people are really used to do business over electronic devices, like phone, text and email and stuff. So, it makes that personal connection so much more meaningful. So I think email marketing is a really great way to keep in touch with your customer, but it shouldn't be your central strategy when you are marketing to your potential customers, like real estate agents or homeowners. I think email marketing is a bit easier for homeowners because they are not getting a lot of emails in general. Unlike real estate agents, everybody emails real estate agents all the time for soliciting businesses. That's why this brings out to my first point is that you want to write really good headlines so that people will open it. Usually before I send out an email, I try to write a few different versions and then test them to see what is the best way. So I use this free tool called CoSchedule. If you Google CoSchedule Headline Analyzer, and there is a free headline analyzer and you can pop your headline in. It's used for bloggers a lot of times too. Like I also test my headlines as well, but you can also use it for your email newsletter headline. Because when you have an attractive headline, it's more likely people are going to open it. And I also just want you to pay attention during your daily life. Like say you're getting a newsletter from a brand, like say maybe you're on Nordstrom's newsletter or Lululemon or West Elm or Parry Barn. Notice what are some of the attractive headlines that prompt you to open them. Because we get junk emails all the time, right? It's just delete. But you can kind of observe what are some of the headlines that are more likely for people to open up. So, for example, if you're just sending a newsletter out and then you just title it April newsletter 2009, that's not very interesting. But if your headline is like 5 ways that you're staging homes wrong, that could be a very attractive headline. Like people want to know what exactly they're doing wrong when they're staging homes to put it on the market. So that you want to make sure you have enticing, attractive headline that is not super long and that is really tailor fit to your customer audience. And number 2, the trick with email marketing is that you want to be fairly consistent. So you don't want to send them an email like kind of over the blue moon. If you want to do a weekly newsletter, you can. Just make sure you can commit to doing that weekly schedule. I mean, it is intense. Like weekly is intense. You can do it bi-weekly. I think for most stagers, monthly is perfect. And then the other thing too is that don't be afraid. You're like, oh my God, I have to send out a newsletter tomorrow. I think one of the things I would suggest is that you can actually think about pre-write most of the content. Say that you come up with 12 staging tips that can work throughout the year. So January, so what to do when you're putting your home on the market in the winter. Or what to do to prepare your home for the upcoming spring listing season. So you can actually pre-write the main newsletter content for these 12 newsletters that you're going to send throughout the year. And then you can pepper in, the up-to-date information. So you stage 5, you have 5 strong case studies that you wrote a blog about this month. So you can pop those in last minute, just link back to your website for the before and after photos, for your gallery, that kind of stuff. So in that way, it makes your email newsletter much more manageable because you are already batching most of the content up front. And it's not that terrible if you just sit down, you block out one day and then sit down and write 12 newsletters. It's not bad at all because the major holidays, right? So like December is going to be Christmas, Halloween is going to be in October, Thanksgiving is November. And then usually the warmer seasons, the hotter season in staging would be like March and April. So you can really tailor your newsletter based on the seasons and then make sure that they're packed with value with tips that you're giving. And so this brings me to my point number 3. You always want to focus on giving values. Just think about your own email inbox again. If you get a lot of junk email, all they want to do is like, advertising, maybe they're selling you stuff and it's all about them. It's less likely you're going to follow up and take action to what they want you to do. But if you're getting a lot of values through a newsletter, say, like, for example, I'm trying to think of something so for example, I was on West Elm's email list, and periodically they send out tips on how to use their stuff into, decorating or design your home. So that is something that's adding value. And the same thing that you can do as a home stager. Like I talked about earlier, you have 12 months of topics that is seasonal and very very fitting for the season itself, or just have a really solid case study and that showcase what are some of the things you can do in case you run into a tricky situation when it comes to staging homes. So there are lots of things you can do, but definitely focus on giving away value, because ultimately, especially with real estate agents will forward on articles that they think will be good for their newsletter. Also, they might forward the articles to home sellers as well. So it's a really, really great idea to have a very solid newsletter that include blog posts, for example, that you write that link back to your website, because they can just grab that hyperlink and then forward to their home seller. So it's going to help you broaden your reach. And this is why I really highly recommend you to focusing on the value that you're giving to your potential audience. And number 4, I would recommend having a freebie on your website so that people can opt in. So if you come on my website, www.stagemore.com, within 5 seconds or so, there should be a pop-up that welcomes you and also invite you to join my resource library. And so by doing that, I have your email. Don't worry, I don't do anything bad with it. But yeah, so I have your email when you sign up. And then so I basically send you a welcome sequence after that. It's like a 5 email sequence just to introduce myself and my company through the newsletter. So that could be a really nice way to really warm up a prospective lead, let them understand who you are and what your company stands for. You don't have to do a 5 email welcome sequence. You can do 3 or you can even do 1, so it's really up to you. But when people opt in, you have their email, then it becomes a really great way to keep in touch. And if you provide value that people really want to know in every single email that you send, that is a really good thing, because throughout this relationship, you're building credibility and people feel like they're getting to know you and they're getting to know your brand as well. So it's a really great tool for you to focus on. This is why I think having an opt-in on your website is going to be a really good tool. And that can be very simple things. It can be your flyer that covers like 10 tips when you need to do before you stage your homes for sale. Those are great things for real estate agents to download and forward. So when you create your opt-in, your freebie, make sure you put your company branding and contact information on it. So it will be easier for people to share, and then also easier for people to contact you when they're interested in your services. And the last tip I have for you is that don't take it personally when people unsubscribe. I know it feels a little bit defeated. Oh my God, like I just sent out a newsletter and 5 people unsubscribe. But you know what that means? It just means that they're not your people. There are going to be times when people come on our website, they subscribe to something, that's all they wanted. They wanted a freebie and then they unsubscribe. That's totally fine. That means that they're not interested in doing business with you. So it's just one less person to worry about. The other thing too is a lot of email newsletter programs, they charge by the number of subscribers you have. So it's actually nice that you are able to weed out and get people to unsubscribe, especially if they're not the right client for you. So those are my 5 short tips and easy tips when it comes to email marketing. And then we have some time. I just want to see if anybody has any questions about sending emails and then how to market through your email newsletter. Wow, we got a lot of people joining us today. This is great. So any questions you guys have about marketing or email newsletter for that matter? No, super quiet. All right, so I'm just going to quickly recap while the question may come in later. So number 1, you want to write good headlines to make sure that people open them. And number 2, you always want to focus on giving away value because that's really what's going to attract people to you and also build value for your audience. And number 3 is you want to be fairly consistent. So if you send a newsletter every month, send it on the same day. Usually sending out a newsletter is better to do it between Tuesday through Thursday. Monday and Fridays are a bit harder. On the weekend, people don't read it as much, or they read it later on in the week. So it just depends. But you can Google this on like what's the best time to send newsletter. And some email newsletter provider actually, they will automatically calculate it for you. You can also send it out on a designated time, but if you choose to do it, just do it consistently because consistency is really the key to keep the clients warm. And then number 4 is that to have a freebie on your website so that people can opt into your email list. It's a really great tool, to attract potential customers into your sphere of influence. And the last thing is just don't take it personally when people unsubscribe. That just means that they're not interested in doing business with you. And most of the time it's actually saving you money because a lot of email providers do charge for the number of subscribers. So I think that's all I wanted to say about email newsletters. Does anyone have any questions? If not, I'm just going to end my live stream today. So tomorrow we're going to talk about social media marketing. It's a big topic nowadays. A lot of stagers are using social media very successfully to market and generate leads, which I think is a really good thing. Just nowadays people do want more kind of a personal interaction. That's why having video is very important because people can see your voice and they can hear your voice and see your face and they feel like they're closer to you. And a lot of times, I think people are really busy nowadays. Sometimes it is easier to watch a video or listen to a podcast than read a full blog post. So that's why I think social media it's a big thing that we need to tap into, but there are easy ways to do it. You don't have to spend a lot of time or spend a lot of feeling really stressed that you had to be on social media for days, to be successful on social media. And then don't forget, we are doing a full training on Tuesday, which is free next Tuesday. So it's going to really focusing on the key strategies I think are very effective in terms of building a consistent clientele. So if you haven't signed up for that, you can just check out our link in Instagram profile, which is at Instagram.com/StageForMore. That's basically my handle for all social media platform. You can also go to our website, it's StageForMore.com/free training. All right, so I guess there's no questions today. So thank you, Susan. Susan says, thanks for the great tips. So that's it. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.